Infinity Ring, Book 1, A Mutiny in Time, by James Dashiell. This is to be opened only after you've completed the story, so I will open this in a next video when we have finished the story. History is broken, and we need your help to fix it. Prologue. Dak Smith sat on his favorite branch of his favorite tree, right next to his favorite friend, Sarah Frosty. Not a bad way to spend a Saturday afternoon, he thought. Beyond the safety of the tree, there was plenty to worry about. The world was falling apart, and the people in charge of things didn't seem to care. But Dak decided not to let little stuff like that bother him now. Sarah apparently agreed. "Feels good up here," she said. "Doesn't it?" "Yeah, it sure does. Makes me kind of sad I wasn't born a monkey. Then I could live in one of these things." Sarah laughed. "You've got the personality of a monkey. And the smell. That's 2/3 of the way there, at least." "Thanks," Dak said, as if she'd just paid him a tremendous compliment. A soft breeze made the branches sway back and forth, just enough to soothe Dak into a partial trance. He and Sarah climbed up the tree every so often while there was nothing else to do. It gave them a chance to talk, away from any distractions like adults, who complained constantly about taxes and crime rates and, in whispers, about the SQ. With all the mental static, it was a wonder Dak and Sarah managed to get any thinking done. Fortunately, they were both geniuses, although in very different ways. "You excited for the field trip this week?" Sarah asked. Dak looked over at her, slightly suspicious. Their class was going to a museum full of history, which he loved, and not a whole lot of science, which was her passion. But the question seemed genuine. "Remember my last birthday?" he asked in return, "when I got that replica of Thomas Jefferson's ascot?" "How could I forget? You came screaming down the street like a girl who's just found a bucket of candy." Dak nodded, relishing the memory. "Well, I'm even more excited about this trip." "Gotcha. That's pretty excited." They sat in silence for a while, Dak enjoying the breeze and the sounds of nature and the break from the rest of life. Gradually, though, he realized that Sarah seemed more or less relaxed. There was an unmistakable tension in her shoulders that had nothing to do with tree climbing. He followed her gaze across the yard to his front porch, where his parents had recently put up a new flag. The small flagpole affixed to the side of the house was usually used for seasonal displays. Holiday flags in the winter, the 48-starred U.S. flag in the long summer months. Now, for the first time, Dak's parents had put up a stark white flag with the black symbol in its center. The symbol was a circle broken by a curve and a thunderbolt, the insignia of the SQ. "Don't tell me your parents buy into all that," Sarah said, her voice solemn. "I don't think so. They said it's easier this way. They're less likely to be bothered if they just put up the flag." "The SQ, they make me sick," Sarah said. Dak had never heard such fierceness in her voice. Someone has got to stand up to them eventually, or someday it's going to be too late. Dak listened to her as he stared out into the woods beyond his house. All that green, all those animals. They were parts of the world where these kinds of places had disappeared entirely. He'd read enough history to know that where the SQ went, trouble followed. He suddenly felt his own little burst of determination. "Maybe it'll be us who stand up," he said. "You never know." "Yeah?" she answered absently. "There's an old saying," Dak told her. "The times, they are a-changing." "Oh, I like that." "Maybe that'll be our motto. Maybe we'll change the times someday. Every problem has a solution, right? And our big brains have got to be good for something. What do you say?" She looked over at him and stuck out her hand. He shook it hard. Somewhere nearby, a bird chirped excitedly. And that is the end of the prologue.